Hey guys, thanks for joining me. I'm going to show you how to make a really easy version of Oreo cookie truffles. Okay, so the obvious, you're going to need just a standard size bag of Oreos. You can pick any flavor Oreo that you want. Sometimes I've made these with the vanilla Oreos, with the mint Oreos, I think they have like cupcake flavor Oreos. You can use any of those, and sometimes I think they even have lemon Oreos, which could be interesting. But today I'm just going to show you how to make them using just the regular Oreos. And you can use double stuff or triple stuff or all the stuffy fluff Oreos that you want. It doesn't really matter. They're going to come out delicious. Okay, so Oreos, main ingredient, hence Oreo cookie truffles. To get your truffle effect, you're going to need some semi-sweet chocolate chips. That's what I had today. I normally use baker's chocolate, but I didn't have any on hand. But I did have some semi-sweet chocolate chips, and I emptied out a bag of these into my double boiler pan. So a double boiler pan means putting water in one of the pots, because you're going to use two pots. If you can see, I'm going to get my pot holder. I have two pots. One is filled with water. Well, not filled, but about a half an inch of water on the bottom on the stove top. And make sure you ask permission and ask for help for doing this project, because not everyone is allowed to use the oven or the stove, so please be safe and ask first. Then the other pot is the pot that you put the chocolates in, or the baker's chocolate. You can do 2 bars of the baker's chocolate, or one bag of the chocolate morsels or the semi-sweet chocolate chips on top. Then what you're going to do is you're going to turn the stove top on a very low setting. You don't want to boil the water or make the water boil over and get into your chocolate as it's melting, because it ruins the chocolate. And then also, you don't want to cook the chocolate either. You just want to melt the chocolate. So when you're melting, a couple of things too with melting the chocolate, with the semi-sweet morsels, I put in maybe a tablespoon of butter and then a couple of tablespoons of cream or milk, and mix it up as it's melting, because these for some reason don't really melt up quite as good as the baker's chocolate can melt up. So you have to kind of add a little bit to it. But if you want to keep it thick and delicious, you can do it that way too. It just makes it a little bit more challenging when you have to dip your Oreo mixture into your Oreo balls into the chocolate. When I'm making the truffles too, you can use vanilla chips as well, or you could use butterscotch chips and make a bunch of different flavors. The possibilities are kind of endless. I also like to add just a little bit of vanilla, maybe a teaspoon of vanilla into the melted chocolate. It gives it just a little extra boost of flavor. All right, so then you're also going to need a tray with some wax paper on it for after you dip your Oreo balls into it. Then you can put them on this tray, and then all you'll have to do is put this in the refrigerator. There's no cooking or anything involved. There are other recipes that call for cream cheese or frosting that you can put into the Oreo base. But today I'm just going to show you the easiest version, the least amount, and they come out just as good, if not, to me, better, because they taste more like Oreos, like a real, just like a chocolate-covered kind of Oreo. But in a fun way, because, it's in like a little ball. All right, so I already mashed up some of the Oreos from my bag, but I'm going to show you how I do it. I have like a little mini chopper that I use for a lot of things, for vegetables but especially for Oreo cookie truffles. And you could use a blender too, but make sure you ask for help if you need help. or ask permission especially too. All right, so what I do is I just break apart Oreos, put it in, kind of break them apart a little bit. And you can fill it up pretty much up to the top of, you could probably do the whole pack in a blender. But with my mini chopper, I have to do it in sections. So, all right, so then I'm going to chop it up. Cover your ears. It's going to be loud. And I pulverize it until it gets to, a pretty good, sandy type texture, or a little bit thicker than sand, like gritty sand. Okay, here we go. Oops, I put the top on wrong. It has a safety feature, so that's good. Then I stop it to check, and I can go a little bit more. All right, then I stop it, and sometimes I unplug it just to make sure to be on the safe side, because it does have a sharp blade in it. And then all I do is I dump it into the big bowl. All right, I just put my grinder to the side. I don't need that anymore, and my plate. All right, so now you have a bowl full of Oreo grinds. Kind of look like coffee grinds. They don't smell like coffee grinds. Okay, then what I'm going to do is, we don't drink milk here at my house, and so I normally don't have milk, but I do have creamer. I'll use almond creamer in my coffee, and then we use almond milk for things too. So what you're going to do is you're going to just put in about a tablespoon of your cream of choice. It could be milk, it could be skim milk, it could be almond milk, it could be creamer, it could be whipping cream. Whipping cream works pretty good, or half and half, whatever your parents maybe use for coffee in the morning. But what I do is I'll pour in maybe a tablespoon at a time. And I take my fork and I start working in the cream into the cookie grinds, right? And be patient with it. Don't just keep adding the cream just because it's still kind of sandy in here, because if you pour too much in, you're going to have to go back to the store and buy more Oreos because you can't take it back. All right? It's easier to add more than to take away. It's kind of like if you were to squirt out all the toothpaste out of a toothpaste container, you can't put it back in. It's impossible. Then you need to grow a lot more teeth to brush that day if you squirt out all of the toothpaste. Okay, so I'm going to add a little bit more. You could test it with your hands, because basically what's going to happen is you're going to want to form it into little balls. Okay, and you don't want the Oreo balls to be sticky, because then it makes it really hard for dipping and handling the cookie balls. Okay, so we're going. And like I said, you can stop with the fork, just mash it up, take your time, and then kind of feel it with your hands and see if you can make a ball with it. If you can't make a ball and it's still crumbly after you've mixed in that tablespoon, so now I'm going on my 3rd tablespoon of creamer. Now remember, each kind of creamer or milk or cream or whatever cream of choice is going to be a little bit different. Like I said, the heavy cream or the whipping cream is going to make it into the texture that you want a little bit easier. All right, this is getting good. I'm starting to get a little bit thick now. It's kind of like a mud puddle, like at the bottom of the... All right, so now I'm just about ready to make a ball. So you should be able to make a ball without having too many crumbs come off of it. All right, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to demonstrate so we can move on to this. All right, so as you can see, I made a little Oreo cookie ball, and it's pretty good. There's no loose cookie crumbs coming off of it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it and I'm going to bring it over to my chocolate that I already melted. stir it up again a little bit. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to dip I'm going to take a spoon, I have a spoon in here, and I'm going to carefully just put the Oreo cookie ball in there and coat it up with the chocolate. Don't lose it in the bottom of your chocolate. And this is the tricky part. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take your cookie ball coated with chocolate. There's going to be a lot of chocolate on the spoon. And you're just going to drop it carefully onto your tray. So it's going to look like this. You can see it's all coated with chocolate. If you would like, you can always add little decorations. I had some American red, white, and blue sprinkles in my cabinet, and I could sprinkle those on for decoration. And it's good to decorate it or put the decorations on when it's still wet so that they stick on. You can dip it in coconut, you can dip it in other sprinkles. You can put some cocoa powder on it. Use a spoon, you can put a little pinch in your fingers and sprinkle that on top to make it extra chocolatey. There's a number of different things. You could pulverize nuts. You can put nuts on the top or anything you think that will taste delicious with your Oreo truffles. Right, I'm going to do one more. I'm going to make another ball, do one more, and then we'll call it a day. Don't forget to clean up, help clean up, and then when you're all finished dipping all of your chocolate Oreo balls, what you're going to want to do is put your truffles in the refrigerator for, I don't know, about a half an hour to 1 hour, and you'll be able to serve and eat them up. It doesn't take long at all for them to set up or harden to be eaten and served. Fun and easy. Not a lot of ingredients needed to make this. Okay, I put my other one on there, dipped it in. You can see it. That one I'm just going to leave plain. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me. Have fun. Make sure you share and clean up. And I look forward to seeing you again for another Junior Baker session. And have a great day. See you soon. Bye.